is time for the All-American and All-American homecoming catch up. I will say when I decided to like get on the trail with everybody else over the break, I didn't realize how far behind I was. And it was quite a few episodes, but at least they were enjoyable. For for All American, I really like that their central theme this season has been like the story that Olivia has been working on about Coach Garrett and the way he's been placing quote unquote bounties on players. It's the way that he's been getting his own players to do things that they should not be doing on the field, which is injuring other players purposefully. And like to the point
that's not
that
legal.
no, not at all. It's also potentially career ending. So he wants them to hurt them enough that they're benched for a significant part of the season, not just for this singular game, but like, son, you're going to be sitting down until you're like your next school year type of situation. And in return, those players either get money or, in the case of one named Isaiah, a scholarship, because he didn't get a full ride to GAU. And now he has a full ride to GAU. So Olivia was warring with the fact that like the coach needs to be stopped, but also this is her brother Jordan's team and her ex-boyfriend Spencer's team. And she wanted to do the right thing, but also was struggling with the repercussions of that. Not to the point that she was going to stop, like that wasn't going to happen, but like a little bit of guilt. The guilt exploded though when the story was finally released. She decided to take her name off the byline and she used a fake name. That way Spencer and Jordan weren't also catching heat from the rest of the players. So I thought that was a really nice move and a sign of maturity for her, that like it didn't have to be, it's still her story, but her name didn't have to be on it. If the point was to remove Coach Garrett, then that should be the focus. Except he didn't get removed, like he resigned. Like the school caught up before he could get fired. So they quietly resigned him, and that would mean that he could get a position elsewhere. And she was not happy about that. But with the story out now, he might not get a position elsewhere, but it also means that the players want to leave because the NC, I don't know the names of the sports organizations. So let me not try to do those initials. Just in case I say like one for basketball and this is a football show. But there has to be an internal investigation. And because of that, the team would likely be barred from being able to play for a full season, if not 2 years, which is a problem because a lot of these players, either this will be their only chance to play at a high level or they want to get into the NFL and they can't sit for 2 years. So they're all trying to decide whether to stay or whether to go to a different team. And that's Spencer and Jordan's big conflict in the fall finale, because Spencer wants to stay and build the team. And Jordan's like, kind of don't. Like he went to Golden Angeles because that's the team that wanted him. He didn't get a lot of offers like Spencer and the other players did. And now that he could, what is the term? He can open his contract back up. Schools want him. And he doesn't have, they kept referencing like, I don't have a guy. Like he never had a coach that was like his person. The way Spencer somehow always becomes like the person for the coach of the team that he's on at the time. Like Jordan's never had one and Spencer's had like 4. Like Spencer just seems to always find the person he needs to find that helps him be a better person and a better player. Then Jordan's just never had that, not even with his own dad. So Jordan decides that he's going to go ahead and go to a different university. Of course, they don't tell us what university it is, but obviously Jordan's not leaving the show. So he's probably going to go to Coastal, which is another school in California. That's literally, I think, down the road or something. He wouldn't be going that far.
I love on TV, there's always like colleges so close to each other.
You're right.
That's not really how it works, but cool.
Yeah. So like Asher, their friend, is as a coach there. And Asher was like, I was waiting to see what you wanted to do. I just want to let you know that Coastal wants you. There was some school that is elsewhere, I want to say in the Midwest, that that he was thinking about. And I was like, let's be serious. He's not going to the place with the corn. I think that's where he's supposed to be
I love
going.
on TV too when they're always like they're like, oh, I'm applying to Yale and they live in California and you're like, you're not going to Yale. You're not leaving the show.
And then like they always end up going to Berkeley or Stanford or
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I
something.
deferred my acceptance to Yale. And I'm like, yeah, because you need to stay on the show.
Yeah, so you're not going anywhere, but they always leave you on like that. They never give you the full answer in the mid-season finale. So then you're like, oh my God, are they like leaving? It's like, they're not leaving.
Yeah, they're not leaving. They don't have the budget to build a whole new set and do two different storylines.
I know. But plus he's in a relationship with Layla. And it's sort of just gotten off the ground. They've defined it, I guess. They're together. That's what I'll say. They're together, but they're secretly together because they don't want the rest of the vortex to know, and they don't want the rest of the vortex to know because Layla has been with Asher and Spencer, and now Jordan. Which, to be fair to her, she dated Asher first, and then she dated Spencer, and now she's with Jordan. And Olivia has dated Asher and Spencer, and obviously she can't date Jordan because that is her brother. so that's like never, that part's like never happening.
Are they running out of pairings?
Well, that's why they call themselves the Vertex, because they've all essentially in some capacity.
Oh, so they've named it.
Yes.
I've never seen that in a show. Usually they just don't talk about it.
Oh yeah, they talked about it, I believe, last season because Asher's girlfriend, who I cannot remember her name right now, but she met all of them, but he hadn't told her that he had dated two of the girls on in their friend group. So she finds that out when Coop says something, because it's always Coop. And she's like, wait, so both of them have dated him? She's like, yeah. We're all friends, but those are his two ex-girlfriends.
She end up cool with it, or is she like?
Yeah, she's just blindsided, but she was fine with it. They're actually doing really well this season. I think it was this season that she told him that she has lupus.
Oh.
Which is why she wanted to be sure that he really understood what she has, like understood how difficult that can be, because she didn't initially want to get serious because they're both young and she didn't want him to get serious with her and then not understand like what sick days are like for her and how hard it can be, because she's fun and she's bubbly and she's really driven, but like on the days where she's not good, she's really not good. They haven't showed it on the show yet. And I hope they do, because I feel like they need to show that side of their relationship. But right now they're just like really supportive with one another. And she helped him recruit some players to Coastal when the GAEU players were leaving. So I like them. They're super, super cute. I also like Jordan and Layla. It is going to be a problem that the Vertex thing is going to be an issue for Layla. That's why she wants it to keep it hidden. Though she did tell Simone in All American Homecoming. Was it the fall finale? So I guess they will be being more open about their relationship. But the thing that she wanted to avoid happened. So JJ got drunk when he should have been practicing. And he said he knows about Jordan and Layla because he caught them kissing, but he was too drunk on New Year's. No, I think on Grace's bachelorette party. He went to a yoga party. Anyway, a toga party. But he was drunk and he caught Jordan and Layla kissing, but he thought that he had seen a woman with a short haircut and a pantsuit. Turned out to be Jordan. And he put two and two together. That was supposed to be the joke. It wasn't funny.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
So, but he found out, and then when he was drunk, he said, I guess I'm next. And of course, they got into a fight over it. And now JJ has left the house that they're all sharing so that he can be with his frat brothers who are bad influence, because JJ's going to lose his scholarship. There's just no way that he's going to be able to maintain his scholarship, considering the fact he rarely goes to train and all he does is drink and party. And I have no idea how his GPA is doing. And Asher and him keep bumping heads because Asher is one of the coaches on the team that JJ plays on. And he doesn't think he's going to make it. And he's not. Like, I'm just like, I think the thing for JJ is going to be that come the end of freshman year, or perhaps even further into the spring semester, he's going to realize that actions have consequences. And just because your family can pay for college doesn't mean that you get to like slack off, like you're going to lose your dream. And I think that's going to happen. It's exactly what needs to happen. I'm just waiting for it to happen. What else? Oh, Morris Chestnut is on All American, and CW is not promoting it, and I do not understand why, because he's a '90s legend, and you would think the promos would be everywhere, but they're not. But okay, I'm enjoying seeing Morris Chestnut, even if he is like, he's clearly just there because Tay Diggs' character Billy knows him. It's like a little reunion for the '90s stars, and that's how Billy, of course, is going to end up being head coach of GAU. Because why would Billy stay at Crenshaw when both of his son, well, Spencer's not his son, but he treats him like a son. Both of them are at Golden Angeles. They have to move him away from Crenshaw eventually, Crenshaw High, I mean. And then Coop's in school. She's auditing a class because she wants to become a lawyer. Like, she got her GED, she found her purpose, which is going to be helping people in her community via the judicial system, and she has to go to school for that, but she didn't get into the program, so she's just auditing the class for now. So she's learning how to take her passion and understand that your passion also has to adhere with the law. So that's I've noticed online some people don't care about that storyline. I think it's interesting for her. It's a little small one, and it's cute. There's also Patience, who's working on her music thing, and she makes me want to have a musical drama on the CW.
Ooh, yeah.
They
One
haven't
that's not
done
Riverdale.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not a musical, but a music drama. They're always doing musicals, but they should try going into music fiction. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hopping over to All American Homecoming. I don't like it as much as All American. And
That's okay.
I told y'all though that the problem for me, and this is a personal problem, is that I assumed that we were getting a sports drama. What we have gotten instead is a slice of life college drama with sports in it, which is it's a completely different realm of television. Reed, I think you described it as like those '90s shows, right? Where like you're at college and you're having stories, but like the main focus is coming of age and emotional development. It's not like there is a central theme beyond that. And that's what's happening on All American Homecoming. Also, there's just like misery. Like, like they're all going through it most of the time. They have a whole Black Joy Day that takes place after a bomb scare at the university. And I mean, it was kind of joyous, but also they were all still dealing with the trauma of like someone wanting to bomb the school because they're Black. Like, I just like, so I was like, okay. I said, but will there be happiness at any other point in this season? Because it just feels like it's not, like everyone is good. Simone can't make a single friend on the team that we actually see on screen. She's trying to become a part of a sorority, but even that part has drama to it because her main antagonist on the team, since Thea is like sidelined, is Tootie, and Tootie, for whatever reason, feels like she must constantly be the most abrasive person to Simone because there can only be one top diva on the team, and it's not going to be our heroine. Damon is still struggling with his father being the head coach of the baseball team, considering the fact that this is the same father who gave him up for adoption because he assumed that he was not the father. Turned out he was the father. That storyline I didn't care for. I still don't care for because it doesn't make sense. But
yeah. Okay.
Well, that was the plot twist of the season 1 finale, which was that like the whole time Damon was looking for his biological parents, and he thought JR, his teammate, is his brother. He was correct about that, but they initially thought that they weren't correct about that. And then the story got convoluted when it became clear that JR's mom cheated with Damon's adoptive father. And that's how he ended up with that family in the first place, because she thought that she was giving him his biological son. Turned out that she was not giving him his biological son. Her husband was his biological father. I guess we didn't do any testing for something.
It sounds like I'm admittedly very behind on it because I started out the season and I was like really into it. Like I loved how we described the show. What you just said, Serena, is what I really like about it. It feels cozy, it feels old school, it feels like simple, and that's not a dig on it. It just feels very like comfortable, lived in. You can just like watch it and watch everything that happens. And then the second episode, I think we talked about this briefly on the podcast, really took the wind out of my sails a little bit. So I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. Um, but the things that you're describing, it feels like they spend a lot of time on things that happened in the past off camera.
Mm. I
Just the way
think
that you describe that whole storyline, I'm kind of like, where's the action in the actual story?
Mm. Well, it's really just, it's not even action, it's more like tension. Like, so, like, Damon and his father are constantly butting heads, and his dad wants to be a part of his life. But I'm also like, yeah, but last season you were really antagonistic towards him, and you didn't like, how do you think that was going to turn into a budding, like, lovely father-son relationship, especially when you yourself are like, he's not the warmest person. So like I'm confused on how that was supposed to happen, but he's stepping down from head coach because he wants to be there for both of his sons, and he doesn't feel like he can do that in the capacity of being responsible for their baseball careers, which fine, whatever, I don't care. Um, what else? Thea is also like, think people are like emoting and they're reacting to their emotions, and that's fine. But I just feel like, okay, where are we going with this? Like Thea has had her injury the entire time, so the focus has been more so on her relationship with Damon and being a support, and she feels like she's lost herself in that relationship, and that she should be focusing on tennis. And I told you, I was like, but you've been injured. It's not like you had anything else to do besides go to your physical therapy. And then when you were able to go back onto the court but can't play matches, you're just supposed to be working on strength instead of, taking cortisone shots, which you should not be taking, and risking infection and further issues with your shoulder. But she broke up with him because she feels like she's losing herself. And I was like, fine, whatever. Like all of my emotions, the majority of my emotions this season have been, okay, sure, that happened, fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because I can't find a way through the plot that is satisfactory for my interests. Because it just seems like, yes, we're coming of age, but we're fighting in a wind tunnel
Yeah,
here.
it
Like
seems
it's
like you
just
need
too
to
much.
pace it a little bit faster.
Well, or just bring us more, like, because it can be coming of age, but doesn't all have to be like someone is opposing me, someone is keeping me from being the best that I can
Yeah.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're fighting, and I don't like it. The two episodes that I did enjoy though were, well, it's weird to say enjoy considering what the plot of it was, but the it was a good thing that they highlighted the bomb threats that HBCUs have been going through and that hasn't stopped, because not a lot of people know that that's happening or that it's continuing to happen, and then how many threats are happening at one time. So like for them to be able to have that discussion and how it can feel like you can't be anywhere in America as a Black
Mm-hmm.
person and feel safe, like not even an institution that is meant for you. That was important storytelling, and I'm glad they told that story and didn't just leave it as a one-off and then like everybody's fine. I like that the following episode they're like, no, this is actually traumatic, especially for Cam, because Cam was the one he who picked up the phone, so he had to hear the threat, and then to not be believed by the FBI when they asked him about it, was like another layer of just trauma. And then to find out that on the other campus that had a bomb threat as well, there was an actual bomb, and that the person who had threatened Princeton was on their way to place their bomb on campus. The FBI was able to intercept him before it could happen. So the importance of the Black Joy Day in that episode was like, it was impactful, but it's also like the joy got to happen and then the joy went away. And I need the joy to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
There's also more rivalry between Lando, who is like he's a pitcher too, and Damon doesn't care for him, and he's come to Princeton now, and so they're vying for top spot as pitchers. So there's just a lot of animosity happening, and there's support happening too, but the Sunday dinners are off the table because Amara is the dean, and Nate's boyfriend was like, it's not fair that like they have your ear and the rest of the student body doesn't. Nate's boyfriend Nico is the SGA president. He's also quite smothering. Like it's his way or the highway, which is why Keisha does not like him. But Nate broke up with him, and I was like, I was happy for her because Nico doesn't really let anyone else shine, and Nate shines a lot. So when Nico couldn't even be there to support her when they did I think it was Founders Day, where they did this beautiful exhibition for everybody that showcased the lesser known clubs on campus. That included mimes, which is funny. Like there were mimes, and she did a beautiful poem about being a dandelion and not like and growing in spite of adversity and in spite of people trying to keep her and everybody else like her down. I thought that was gorgeous. And then Nico left before she even could finish the poem. And when she was like, babe, come up here and like celebrate in this moment with me. Then it was embarrassing because he wasn't there. Oh, and finally she had to let him go. And I was like, can Nate have love, please? Like love that's gonna be there to support her and be like the main one clapping a little too loud because like that's her, that's my love. Like why can't she have that too? Also, I'd watch an entire series about Nate. I'm not kidding. I really I really love her. She's really great. I wish she was in the season more than she is, and I wish she had more. Like her storylines always end up being like the C plot, and I want them to move her to the B. Like move her to the B plot, give her the A plot for one episode.
Spin-off sitcom.
Yes. Oh my God. Need it desperately. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop there for the All-American Homecoming review because I feel like everything else I'm going to say is just still not like not it. Oh, but Layla's Layla being in the fall finale, well, random, was interesting. There was a terrible excuse too. She's like, I'm here because with Patient's choreographer, who happens to be a Brinkson University alum, who's like there to also tell Keisha that her dance teacher is actually a rather fierce woman, and like you could get bumped out of her class in the middle of the semester, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. And so now Keisha's overextending herself. I was like, she's gonna get an injury.
She was doing that the last time I watched.
Yes, but now she's doing it for dance. So she's missing like she missed a date with Cam, and she was like, I'm tired, but really she was dancing in front of her mirror because she wants to make sure that she can make it to the next part of the semester. And I was like, oh God, can anyone enjoy life? Yeah, right. Please, someone. But yeah, that's what's happening in the All-American universe. I'm hopeful. I know people love how messy All-American Homecoming is, and I think they've been enjoying it. I personally have not been. So for me, in my taste, I hope that there's something that I can latch onto story-wise in the back half of the season.
I can't wait to catch up during winter break. And I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, you might be total opposite. You might be like, Sabrina, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
I don't know. We'll see.